اوكي يعطيكم الف عافيه يا رب. نرجع نكمل and on camp the hoof tramps and the voices of the riders to the phrase and the stars brightening in it. Let us read. On came the hoof tramps and the voices of the riders, two grave old voices, conversing soberly as they drew near. These mingled sounds appeared to pass along the road, within a few yards of the young man's hiding place, but owing doubtless to the depth of the gloom at that particular spot, neither the travellers nor their steeds were visible, though their figures brushed the small buffs by the wayside. It could not be seen that they intercepted, or I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, even for a moment, the faint gleam from the strip of brightly sky athwards outwards, which they must have passed. Goodman Brown alternately crouched and stood on tiptoe, pulling aside the branches and thrusting forth his head as far as he durst, without discerning so much as a shadow fixed him, because he could have sworn, were such a thing possible, that he recognized the voices of the minister and Deacon Gookin, jogging along quietly, as they were wont to do when bound to some ordination or excel, I don't know how to pronounce that again, council. While yet within hearing, one of the riders stopped to pluck a switch. "Of the two, reverend sir," said a voice like the deacon's, "I had rather miss an ordination dinner than tonight's meeting. They tell me that some of our community are to be here for Plymouth and beyond, and others from Connecticut, something like that, or Connecticut and the Rhode Islands, besides several of the Indian powwows, who after their fashion know almost as much deviltry as the best of us. Moreover, there is a goodly young woman to be taken into communion. There is a goodly young woman to be taken into communion. There is a goodly young woman to be taken into communion. Mighty Waldy Kangoken, replied the Solomon, old tunes of the minister, spur up, or we shall be late. Nothing can be done, you know, until I get on the ground. Okay, I read it. I have read it all because it is too important. I can't skip anything. The hooves clattered again, and the voices talking so strangely in the empty air, passed on through the forest where no church had ever been gathered or solitary Christian prayed. Whither then could these holy men to be journeying, or men be journeying so deep into the heathen wilderness? Young Goodman Brown caught hold of a tree for sport, being ready to sink down on the ground faint and overburdened with the heavy sickness of his heart. The heavy sickness of his heart. Again, the heavy sickness of his heart. He looked up to the sky, doubting whether there really was a heaven above him. Yet there was the blue arch, and the stars brightening in it. Now, let us interpret it. Let us comment on it. On camp, the hoof tramps and the voices of the riders till and the stars brightening in it. Actually, I'm explaining to you and you have to connect it so you get to understand it. At the beginning, young Goodman Brown hid so fast in the woods. قلنا سمع صوت horses, okay? So young Goodman Brown hid so fast in the woods. خبى بسرعة in the woods. He heard two old grave voices along the road. سمع صوت شخصين old grave voices, شخصين أصواتهم بينهم كبار بالعمر. grave يعني decent محترمين, voices أو خلينا نقول راكزين, okay, along the road. They came near him but he was hiding very well. قربوا منه كثير بس هو كان متخبي, يعني متخبي كويس. Okay. Young Goodman Brown sat on his tiptoes على رؤوس أصابعه, يعني تخبى ووقف على رؤوس أصابعه بحيث إنه ما ينشاف وما ينسمع له صوت, and surrounded himself with branches. وخبى حاله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد, نقول بالحطب. Then he recognized their voices. عرف أصواتهم, ميزها. مين كانوا؟ They were the Deacon Gookin and the minister. The Deacon Gookin and the minister. The Deacon Gookin شو قال؟ A few words, حكى كم كلمة. هذول الكلمات اللي حكاهم لو نرجع لهم هنا: I'd rather miss an ordination dinner than tonight's meeting. They tell me that some of our community are to be here from Plymouth and beyond لعند best of us, or actually into communion. اوكي، شو قال ديكن جوكن؟ انه اجتماع اليوم لازم نحن، مش لازم نفوته. So he indicates that tonight's meeting is extremely important to be attended. يعني لازم نحضره، مهم جدا. يعني ممكن نفوت كل شيء في الدنيا إلا هذا الاجتماع. اجتماع اليوم مش ممكن نفوته. أي اجتماع، أي communion. The, the one that the Goody Cloys, the young Goodman Brown, the devil, the actual Goody Corey, the deacon, the اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد, the minister was going to. Okay? And there will be some new people from their community. وبيحكي للديكن جوكن إنه في ناس راح تكون جديده من المجتمع تبعنا. يعني احنا رايحين على التجمع هذا، وفي ناس من المجتمع تبعنا بحياتها ما فاتته، اليوم راح تفوتوا. And young Goodman who community and Indian, sorry for that, and Indian powwows who are too evil from the community. يعني في ناس جديده راح تكون من المجتمع تبعنا، وكمان هنود حمر اسمهم Indian powwows because they keep saying واو واو هذه تبعتهم. اوكي، Indian powwows who are too evil, and there will be a young women who will be taken into tonight's meeting. هذه جدا مهمة. راح تكون في مرأة صغيرة في العمر راح تكون بالاجتماع الليلي. Actually you would be surprised who is that woman. They continued their way deep down to the forest. كملوا طريقهم where nothing good is there. كملوا طريقهم بالمكان اللي ما في أي إشي كويس. قال لنا إنه ما في أي church had been there. يعني ما كان في كنيسة بهذا الطريق. So the minister and the deacon Goken uh, were not going to the church. They were going into this wicked, evil journey also. Okay. At this point, بهاي اللحظة, young Goodman Brown's brain and heart are filled with doubts. بلش يشك young Goodman Brown. بإيش يشك؟ مش بالناس، لا لا. He began questioning, بلش يتساءل if there was actually heaven or not. Sorry. بلش يتساءل، يحكي بعقله: معقول في جنة بعد كل هذا؟ إذ كل الناس الكويسة هيك طلعت، معقول يكون في جنة؟ معقول يكون في آخرة، في نار، في جنة، في هذه القصص كلها؟ زي كأنه بلش يلحد، خلينا نقول بطل يآمن ولا بإشي. He lost his trust. He has trust issues from now on. Okay, so young Goodman Brown's brain and heart are filled with doubts, and his heart also, like, he felt very sick when you get this thing, when you get shocked by many things at the same time. You feel illness, you feel ill, you don't يعني هنقولها you don't feel well. Okay, and the sickness filled his heart, but while he was looking at the sky he could see nothing but blue arc and brightening stars. بهاي اللحظة كان يطلع على السماء، يعني كان يتساءل، يطلع على السماء يقول يا اخي معقول في جنه، معقول في نار، معقول في اخره، الوضع مش مزبوط. He has trust issues from now on. So while he was looking at the sky ما كان يقدر يشوف اي شيء غير البلو اركس، شيء بالنجوم وما نجوم ما بعرف ايش هو بالضبط، and brightening stars ونجوم لامعه، غير هيك ولا بيقدر يشوف شيء. Okay, this is for again for this lecture. I will stop here and leave the second slide for a lecture on its own. Okay, if you have any question, if you have anything, please come back to me. You have to read this story. You have to read it once, like one time, two times, three times. For each interpretation, you are going to connect with the literature. You have to read the written piece or the original piece of literature, like the story itself. You have to read it. Then you go to interpretation and to connect it together, so you get to understand it. Okay, if you have any question, please go back to me. If there's anything that is unclear, again, go back to me. I would like to repeat it. I would like to record it again. Okay, have a good luck and have a great day. Thank you all. Thanks for